Hi, my name is Derry Ebert, and this is my wife Brenda. And Pastor Chad wanted us to talk about what it's like transitioning in our faith from the time when our kids were in high school and now that they're briefly out of high school and now that we're empty nesters. First of all, I have my older daughter is Kelsey. She's 25 years old. She lives in Denver and is a school teacher at a high school teaching special ed. Our younger daughter, Riley, turned 20 yesterday, and she is a junior at Mid-America Nazarene University studying elementary ed. We talked a little bit about what it was like when our kids were in high school, and we felt like it was more of we're telling them what they should be doing, taking them to church, pushing them to be a part of a youth ministry or working in the church, helping in the nursery and those type of things. And now that they're out of school, it's been interesting to see them take on their own role. And now they volunteer in church, and hearing from our older daughter, and more in particular, about how she's involved at her church in Denver and the small group that she's a part of for young adults, and how she is involved with Red Rock Kids and the kids ministry that they have as well.
I think one of the main things is seeing the transition of our kids was seeing them, what we had told them to do or what maybe they saw by example and everything, and then them becoming accountable for their own actions in serving others and
Right.
wanting to give to others and wanting to so the transition happened spiritually in that it was what we had brought them up as until their ownership
Right.
of their own.
Yeah, now I feel like their accountability is more with their friends and with their small group and
Yeah.
the people they're involved with rather than with us. And for us, it's more of we get to hear the blessings of what they're doing and share with us, the excitement that they have being involved with the church.
And as far as empty nest life, the difference instantly for us was the busyness stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Both of our girls were athletes. They played year round, every night of the week, and everything. So our life was busy then, and I think even our spiritual relationships dealt with the busyness. I know that we talked about when we were in the busy time of life, I had devotionals that literally were like 15-minute devotionals.
Yeah.
So I used a devotional book called Pressing Pause and everything. And it was a devotional that was literally some scripture, some questions, and then some reflection and everything. But it was literally all that I could do at that time to really be intentional in the busyness. And I think the difference now in our empty nest life is that we have to be intentional because we do have a lot of time
Yeah,
to
we
do
have so
it.
much free time now.
Yeah.
It's like you have to make sure that you do that. Before, it was almost part of our schedule because we had to schedule everything about everything we did. My time that I found to do devotions and reading and stuff is I'm not a big reader, and so I found an app. YouVersion has an app that I use that will read the Bible to you. And I have about a 20-minute commute to work before we moved here, and also now it's about 18 to 20 minutes. And so I literally listened to the Bible all the way through in a year. That was my goal. And so I took so many chapters each day and just would listen to them. And it helped me in that busy time because that was my 20 minutes where I really didn't talk to anybody. I was just going to work, and it was a great time for me to set aside and say, you know what, this is what I need. And it helped me start the day off with something positive. And a lot of times throughout the day, I would hear that one of those verses come back to me and say, this is this. And I was in a situation where, okay, I needed that verse today. Now with Pastor Chad, about a month or two ago, he was challenging us to read through the Psalms. And so rather than starting in Genesis and going all the way through like I did a few years ago, this year in January, I started again, but I was going kind of from different books. And when he said, okay, I want you to read so many chapters today, so many chapters, of Psalms each day, I just made that part of what I would listen to. And so I would listen to that chapter, and usually I would listen to something else as well. And so that helped. just to continue that time of my personal devotion.
You know, I would say in this empty nest of life, we really wondered what it was going to be like. We wondered how our relationship was going to be, how our relationship with children were going to be, you know, and how that went along. And I think we have just found that it really is just the next season in life and stuff. It's completely different than it was even 2 years ago with the busyness and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is a new season and stuff of the unexpected that has turned out really good.
Yeah, I think we had talked 3 or 4 years ago about what are we going to do once the girls are out of school and we're by ourselves. But I think we were really more nervous about it than it actually
Needed to be.
Yeah, because once we got here, we found that we like to have a little slower pace. It's been nice to be able to sit around the pool and relax in the evenings rather than running to a soccer practice. And so it's been a great transition for us.
And I also think that it gave us more discussion, like
Yeah.
in the times like when we were talking about maybe what our spiritual life is like now compared to the busyness time, is that we have discussions more about what maybe our devotional was that day, or maybe a blessing that we had during the day that we saw, and maybe when you were at chapel, or, you know, different stuff like that. And we have time for those discussions where everything before was really rushed and everything.
Yeah.
So we get to talk about it and everything and really be open about that part.
Yeah, we can reflect on church and feel like we have time to sit and do it and not having to run and do this or run to another game or run to a tournament or whatever. We've enjoyed our empty nest time, and it's been a blessing for us. And I think we've also been had the ability to get involved with church. We were helping with the college Bible study this spring, and I think there's other ways that you can fill your time once you have the time, and you just have to kind of go looking for it.
Well, and I think another thing about the view or the vision you have as empty nesters is every church that we looked at like, did they have a good kids program? Did they have a good youth program? Did they have we really wanted to make sure that the church was a big part of our kids' life and making that a priority, and I don't think that changes when you go into empty nest, but our view of it looked a little different. We were really looking at what programmatic things they had that maybe involved something of what we could do of small groups or women's groups or men's Bible studies or sports or, you know, something like that. So I think that if you're intentional about it and stuff, that's where it came from.
Well, I guess that's all we have, and we thank you, Pastor Chad, for giving us a chance to share, and we hope to see you guys at church, hopefully when we can get back to church.